Pretty much anytime there's news on a game coming to the Nintendo Switch that is a port of an older game, we've always got the same deal going on. People complaining, "Oh, really? Another port?" Others will be like, "Oh, I've never played it before, so I'm actually really excited." The fact of the matter is, the Nintendo Switch doesn't have too many ports. Not at all, in my opinion. It could actually use a lot more, I think. But I also think it does have a port problem. Does that pretty much make me disagree with everyone here? Good. Now let's talk about these ports. I've discussed my views on this in the past. I'm fine with ports. I get that you're going to have people who didn't play the games being able to play them now. People who may have played them previously are able to play them on the go. But I don't like it, A, when we charge the same price as a brand new game for one of these ports, and B, I don't like it when they are put on the same level of a whole new game. Now, there are exceptions. I just did a video on the Bayonetta collection on Switch, and I still love it. I think the package is still a solid value. 2 games, ready to play on the go for the Switch for $60 is worth it. This clears my first complaint about ports, but some people are still failing the second here. Yeah, these games are great, but they aren't Bayonetta 3, okay? Releasing 1 and 2 again is not the same as releasing Bayonetta 3. New games simply are a bigger deal than their previous installments. I keep trying to hammer this point home because I feel some people, they really don't get it, especially this Wii U stuff. I know, a lot of Switch owners didn't play. Hell, the Switch has already outsold the lifetime sales of the Wii U, so obviously a lot of this stuff is going to be picked up by people who didn't play these games. But let's not forget, and I know this is a tough pill for a lot of Nintendo fans to swallow, and listen closely here, none of these games on their own, nor all combined, could save the Wii U. That system was a failure despite all these games. So while yes, I think it's good to have them brought over to a new system for new players, let's not treat them as if they're in the category of new titles, actual new games that no one has played, because they aren't. Like, come on, I'm excited to play Tropical Freeze again, but $60 for a game that came out in 2014? Oh, but the Funky Kong memes, don't you think they're funny? Yeah, you know what's going to be even funnier than those Funky Kong memes? That game's first week of sales. And I get that with the price, we're paying to have a portable version in many cases. And there are times I'm fine with that. Like I said, Bayonetta 1 and 2 for $60 made sense. A game like Doom, I've pushed that game to the moon. But it was also only a year after its initial release when it dropped on the Switch, so I think that's fine. It wasn't very old at all. But then games like Skyrim, which I've also praised the Switch version of. Do I think Skyrim in 2017, now 2018, is worth $60? Even if it does come with all the DLC, not really. But still, the third-party stuff obviously is more on their end when it comes to the pricing choices. Obviously, Nintendo isn't going to, make Bethesda charge a certain price for their games. Actually, we know if you're Nintendo, you certainly don't want to do anything that would chase off third parties. But Nintendo themselves should be looking at where some of these games can be library builders, in a sense. Again, they're not the same as a new game, but they're awesome, and it would be easy to recommend them at discount prices. You have tons of people buying the system right now. It's about a year old, and it's tough to build a game library on a new system when everything is sold at full price. I would argue you could get a significant amount of sales from these older titles if they were cheaper. Your average person just spent $300 on your new system and probably doesn't have much left to blow on games. And in the case of a title like Tropical Freeze, why should I buy that before, say, Super Mario Odyssey? Oh, well, come on, Johnny, it's not fair to compare Tropical Freeze and Super Mario Odyssey. I'm not the one inviting the comparison. They're the ones charging the same price for each title. But if, say, Tropical Freeze was $30, which I think would be fair, maybe now the consumer would pick up both games. Like, imagine if these games were getting treated as legacy type titles across the board. You knew when they come out, the Switch games that were Wii U ports were going to be $30. Can you really tell me people wouldn't be more interested in them? I mean, seriously, tell me in the comments, like with Tropical Freeze, if you're not even considering it for 60 US dollars, by the way, whatever that translates into your currency, 500 billion yen, I guess. If you're totally not going to buy it for full price, would you buy it for 30? I think you'd even get a lot more double dippers that way because, you know, even myself, I've said Tropical Freeze was one of my favorite Wii U games, top 5 for sure. But man, buying it again for 60, that's a tough sell, man. And I think this is why we're starting to see the rise of indies on all platforms, but even more so on the Switch. I mean, Shovel Knight Treasure Trove that comes with all the DLC packs up to this point is $25 on the Nintendo Switch. So there's another instance. How do I recommend Tropical Freeze for 60 over, say, Shovel Knight with all its DLC for 25? There's just too many other titles you could be spending your money on to make the argument for ponying up these premium prices for these older games. They need to come down. And I think as time goes on and we inevitably see more and more ports, you're going to see more and more players push back. Because don't forget, as time goes on and we get more and more ports, we're also getting more and more new games, both new AAA games, new indie games. And when there's more stuff to choose from, it's going to be even harder and harder, I think, to choose these ports if these prices don't start to come down. And with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch port problem in the comments. Do you think these prices need to come down? As always, I'm John Zacari, and thanks for watching.